What the HU double hockey sticks? So Bear Independent can't go live, but Blue Collar President can. What? Boy, do I hate YouTube. All right. Hold on. I need to share this over on Patreon. Oh my gosh. Do they censor you? Right. Tell me you're being censored without telling me you're being censored. Must have said the wrong thing about the nation state of Israel recently and all the pedophilic Satanists that run the country. Couldn't have been me. That wasn't me. I love Bill Gates and George Soros and things and LGBTQIA plus apostrophe rainbow unicorn emoji and why are you gay? Who is gay? I'm here with Mr. Pepe Julie. Mister? Do I call you Mister? Who says I'm gay? You are gay. Except Pepe and Julie is YouTube. Whatever. Shalom. Good morning. It's 7:40 a.m. Central Time, 7th of February, 2025. I'm so sorry to all of you, the hundreds of you who were over there on the Bear Independent main channel while we were trying to live stream. I'm going to do one more thing where I'm going to go onto the YouTube mobile app and oh, Mr. Guns and Gear has a new video out. Imagine that. And I'm going to find this live stream and try and post it over to the main channel. Share. Oh my gosh. Share. Shadow banned from main channel. Here's the brief for today. You know, what's going on here? Perhaps Susan Wojcicki, or whatever the hell her name is. I know what it is. It was me on Wednesday talking about how Claudia Scheinbaum is totally a Mexican name, and that lady's totally Mexican. And Claudia Scheinbaum doesn't that sound at all like Klaus Schwab, even a little bit. And that lady is 100% Mexican. And when you look at her, it's absolutely clear that lady's Mexican, nothing but Mexican. She's, she loves birria tacos and cervezas and, it's 100%. There's nothing going on there at all. Yeah. Or Susan Wojcicki, or whatever the hell her name is. She's probably an effing robot. Or Nephilim, or lizard person, or whatever. Doesn't like the fact that I have a God-given, constitutionally protected First Amendment right, and that Donald J. Trump, the current president of the United States of America, signed an executive order that says that you are not allowed to police anybody's speech on social media. So that takes Section 230, takes it and just throws it right out the window. Are you a publisher or a platform? Don't care. I have God-given rights. They're protected by the United States Constitution. Susan's dead. Is she or is she not dead? Did they cut her head off of her and bolt it on to some type of animatronics, some like It's a Small World Disney shit? Who knows? I don't know. Okay. So maybe they just haven't read the executive order yet. Or maybe they're funded in large part through USAID, which has been shut down by the United States Department of Government Efficiency. And so the multi-billion-dollar enterprise that is YouTube, that's owned by the multi-billion-dollar enterprise that is Google, which is owned by the multi-billion dollar, if not trillion dollar Alphabet company, which is definitely not in any way has ever been tied to the Central Intelligence Agency and has been gathering your digital exhaust for the last 15 years. They ran out of funding, and so they haven't been able to update their servers here lately. And so Bear Independent's not allowed to talk on the internet because, Yah forbid, he might say some shit that makes sense to the normal people, and they get radicalized and realize that, you know what? 2024 should be a tax holiday for every single American taxpayer because the amount of federal fraud is so rampant and egregious that people should be out in the streets with torches and pitchforks. But we're not. We've been placated because we got to stay on the execution of TikTok. So everybody now gets to resume their 7 seconds of goldfish existence and just have their attention spans completely destroyed by the existential crisis rectangle and the blue light. And then they can't sleep, which means they don't recover, which means they continue with their cell death, which means they need more medications, which is good for Fauci, who probably started the AIDS epidemic, to say nothing of COVID-19, which totally came out of a lab in Wuhan. But where did they get the virus from? They got it from Ukraine, which is why in 2014, we, the United States of America, had people over there in Ukraine because of our 13 biolabs that are there. And then we let a little thing that we're good at. Who else was involved here? Oh, that's right, the Central Intelligence Agency, where we did a little coup d'etat. And they hired a literal actor named Zelensky to go over there and run the country so that we could unfold World War III between NATO and the Russians over there, because there's trillions of dollars of wealth in the ground that's now going to be extracted, to say nothing of the $500 billion contract that BlackRock got to put the country back together again. And oh, by the way, Zelensky doesn't know where 98 of the 177 official $1 billion that have been sent over there has gone to. But if you give him another 20 billion, he'll be sure to look real hard for it and maybe let you know. And while all that's going down, a recent study showed that only $230 billion would be enough money to feed, clothe, and house every American veteran in the United States of America and completely eradicate homelessness here and give every American good health care and wipe out a significant part of credit card debt for like low-income households. That would only be 230 billion. But instead, see, that's bad for Raytheon. That's bad for Halliburton. That's bad for BlackRock. So we're not going to do that. And we definitely are not going to talk about how 90% of our Congress people have dual citizenship with Israel and are bought and paid for by AIPAC, which is the reason that JFK got shot in the head in the first place, because he didn't want Israel to have nukes. Because we definitely are not going to have a nuanced conversation about the difference between the nation state of Israel, 1947, Lord Baron Rothschild, and Winston Churchill, who took over a piece of land called Palestine and gave it to the Jewish peoples, which identify as not only God's only chosen people, but the only ethno-religion on planet Earth, because it's both an ethnicity and a religion, even though 80% of the people who live in Israel are not religious. And you could argue the ethnicity of more than 90% of the people who are there. But it's really, really important that the evangelicals just understand very, very strongly that America has to support Israel because they're our greatest ally, even though the nation state of Israel is not the biblical Israel. But if you talk too loudly about that, then you accidentally shoot yourself in the head 3 or 4 times while you commit suicide, or maybe drive a Cybertruck out in front of Donald Trump's property in Las Vegas, Nevada, and have a conflagration instead of an explosion. Maybe that's why Bear Independent's not allowed to talk on the internet this morning. Who knows? I have no idea. Hi. Now that we got that out of our system. Mike. Don't worry. Everything's fine. Trump signed another executive order about some shit. So it's going to be fine. It's fine. None of that even matters. Get back in your cattle cars. Eat the grain. Run on the hamster wheel. Everything will be fine. It's just fine, right? The Bear Show, the 7th of February, 2025. Shout out to my wife, who's amazing, and who was like, well, because I'm over here trying to fight my way into my own YouTube channel for, 20 minutes. And she goes, "Is it just the main channel?" And then ding, light bulb went off. Oh, that's right. I have an alternate channel. Thanks, babe. You're amazing. Bear Independent Brief. 7 February 2025. Listen, phone, if you're gonna fuck with me now, we're gonna have it's gonna be smash shit into little tiny bits of plastic and silicon and call it a day. It's just what it's gonna be. What was that Pantera song? Primal Concrete Sledge? Yeah. Yeah, like that. Primal Concrete Sledge. Just gonna break shit. Waves of confusion reverberated through small businesses and consumers alike when the United States Postal Service paused inbound parcels from China and Hong Kong amid Trump's new tariffs. Then, just as suddenly, it reversed its decision. The issue arose from the scramble to put a quote efficient collection mechanism in place for the sudden taxes on imported goods. I've been wondering about this, not because we import things from China or even sell things to China, but because we meaning Refuge Medical, have products on 4 continents. And we do a fair stroke of business north of the imaginary line in the snow. Canada, I believe, is how you guys refer to it. So I will tell you now, the Iridium Group functions and has functioned as essentially Refuge Medical Canada division. So if you need anything from us, up to and including training, because Ed is a phenomenal trainer and teacher, check out the Iridium Group. Good morning, Snowbird. Hope you're doing well. You need a cat tourniquet? He got you. You need a Skedco litter? He got you. You need to know how to not glow in the dark when the Russians nuke us all because we've been poking them in the face for, I don't know, last 10, 20, 100 years. Ed's got you. Okay. So the Iridium Group functions as, and bless this brother, because this is all just an agreement between brothers, functions essentially as Refuge Medical Canada. Now, can you go to the website refugemedical.com and get stuff sent to a Canadian address? 100%. As long as UPS and USPS and DHL and FedEx are all playing nice today, because we've seen major interruptions in service due to strikes and walk-offs and all that, and renegotiations of contracts, which, by the way, is part of gray zone conflict, which is something Mike Shelby at Forward Observer talks a lot about. Are they still Forward Observer? I don't know. Every 4 months they rebrand. Mike Shelby, he knows what he's talking about. And so that's below the threshold of conventional conflict, right? Armed conflict. And so we've seen a lot of that lately. So I've been watching this whole import-export thing because it directly affects our business. Companies like Temu and Shine are now also being hit with a new issue. Shipments of under $800 in value, aka de minimis shipments, were previously able to avoid import duties and taxes. And now that's over. To which I say, good. Where? I don't sell a cheap tourniquet in America no more. Oh, so bad. I cannot do it no more. Don't care. Don't care. Your stuff is shit anyway. And it's criminally negligent to sell subpar medical products to people. I've been saying this for 3-4 years. That's intentional. They don't. China doesn't run that bullshit medical stuff for their military. They just sell it to you so that you feel like, I scratched that itch. I got what I need. I'll be fine if I ever have to use one of these things. And then you're not fine when you do have to use one of those things. And what happens? An American dies. Does that support China's ambitions to become the lone global superpower? 100%. It sure does. And you paid them for the opportunity to bleed out and die because you bought bullshit. Hey, homie, it's your blood. You can attempt to keep it in your body however you see fit. I think it's retarded. So if you want to literally arm the communists while taking unnecessary risk with your own life, go for it. Go for it. That's all you. Me, nah, I'm avoid that. To the best of my ability, I'm gonna avoid that. It's, quote, obviously a very big deal, end quote. According to Marketplace Pulse CEO Juwaza Kuzianak. That's a technical pronunciation. Name could be Polish, it could be Eastern European, it could also be sub-Saharan African. I don't know. Because of the cheapness and speed which with they used to move customer products, a key aspect of the business model has essentially just vanished. Good. Death to Shine. Death to Temu. You can't say that. No, I'm an American. I'm a human. I can say whatever the hell I want to say. People don't have to agree with it. They don't have to like it. They don't have to support it. They don't have to watch, but I can say it. For perspective, Temu and Shine make up approximately 30% of de minimis packages shipped to the United States. 30%. I don't listen, Bear Nation. I don't think it's you guys that are doing this, but WTF? What? Why is everybody else? You can get a pair of pants on there for 14 cents. Let me explain something to you. When you download an app like that, like why is China's DeepSeek AI free? It doesn't cost anything to use it because, see, it does. It costs a lot to use it. You're just thinking about number one, they don't teach business, let alone business models and complex business models in school to anybody. And even if you have an MBA, you went to some business college and you learned from some nerd who has a lot more theory than he has practice when it comes to business, right? So most people don't understand business models. Nothing is free. You didn't pay 14 cents for a pair of pants, okay, or whatever you bought on there, some like kitty coasters to put your herbal tea on. The business model is they are collecting your digital exhaust. Now, what is that? It depends on the app, but certain apps, it's everything. It's the SSID MAC addresses of every device that you have, the mapping of your Wi-Fi networks, every node on your network, every device that has ever touched that network, ever, your contacts, your scrolling patterns, your patterns of behavior, when you go to sleep, when you wake up, when you set your alarms, who you talk to, your location data, where you drive, how long it takes you to drive. And then that, of course, with these new vehicles connects to your vehicle. So now they know what kind of vehicle you have. And so this third-party data that they're collecting, then they take that and they monetize it against you. Oh, you drive a Ford F-250. Do you need Ford F-250 running bars so you can get in and out of this ridiculously high truck that you have? And I'm not short. Okay, I'm 6 foot tall, and like I got to get a little trampoline next to the truck. And this is a stock truck. I got to bounce up and down on the trampoline 3 or 4 times in order to get enough height to launch myself into the cab of the truck. That shit's retarded. But you might want to buy some running boards. Okay, well, here's 19 different companies that are now going to spam your Instagram, your Meta, your X, and all these other platforms using your the third-party data that they got from Temu, from Shine, from DeepSeek, from everything else to then be able to market back to you. And so the business model is not to charge you, it's to charge advertisers who want to sell to you. Right? Facebook is free because they gather all of your data so that when somebody wants to run a Facebook ad, they can then constrain the demographic that they want to sell to. I want to sell to men that are between the ages of 35 and 49 that live in the breadbasket of America, that earn this much per year, that have these kind of spending habits and these interests. We run Facebook ads. It's literally that easy. You just move the little slider bars, click the little boxes, done. That's why Facebook is free, because Facebook doesn't monetize the user. They monetize the advertiser. And China is not only using this commercially, they're also using it from an intelligence standpoint and militarily. The whole thing's gay. The whole thing's terrible. So you shouldn't give China a dime. You shouldn't do it. Okay? Okay, fabulous. To repeat this last line, for perspective, Temu and Shine make up 30% of de minimis packages shipped to the United States of America. 30%? Think about the operational drag that creates on our economy. 30%. Okay. And of course, the rapid fire move fast and break things approach from the Trump administration and his unelected allies at the freshly minted Department of Government Efficiency is not just creating legal and security issues, but also more financial issues for the average plebeian. That'd be us. Not only are this year's expected tax cuts coming for the wealthiest Americans rather than low-income and middle-class families, and not only are housing, healthcare, and education costs expected to rise, but there could be more immediate upsets as the new administration makes waves. Now, I will repeat from my rant earlier this morning, 2024 at a minimum, the year 2024 should be a tax holiday, because I can easily make the argument that you didn't use my money for what my duly elected representatives had signed off on at the United States of America, the Congress. And let's also just make this point while we're here, while we're walking through this particular trail in the garden. It has become very in vogue in the last few weeks for red state leadership and red representatives to get 100% on board. Not all of them, not unilaterally, but most of them, with this idea of Doge and government efficiency. And we got to stick it to the Democrats. But these same assholes were voting in lockstep with the Democrats for decades in order to fleece you, the American taxpayer. Okay, I believe it was an executive order by President Kennedy that developed USAID. And so, what's that, in the 60s? We're talking 60 years of existence this thing has been around, and both parties have been lining their pockets and laundering money and taking money from you and sending it all around the globe happily. And so just because now there's a Republican in power and everybody wants to get in lockstep with MAGA so they have some kind of job security and they look good to their constituency, they were complicit in this shit too. Okay? Republicans' stock portfolios go up just as much as Democrats do when they're in Washington, D.C. So be very, very aware of that. Like super duper aware of that. And you know what? Since we're over here in this part of the garden walking along this particular trail, Pam Bondi sucks shit. What a terrible appointment. You know, she's 58 years old and smoking hot. I don't care. I do not care at all. And if we, by we, I mean the big we, don't appoint Brandon Herrera as the chief executive, the director of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, so that he can get in there, destroy the NFA, destroy the unlawful National Gun Registry, and then literally or figuratively burn the headquarters to the ground and shut down the ATF so that it ceases to exist, we're all stupid. So Trump's doing a lot of good work. Okay, sure. But there's still some very, very important issues on the table. And I had decided I'm not paying more than $750 in taxes for 2024 anyway, regardless of what the Internal Revenue Service has deigned to say that I owe them, which is in of itself extortion. It's not theft, because theft, you just take it from me. Extortion is at the point of a gun. If I don't comply, I end up in a concrete box sooner or later. That's bullshit. That's why we have a Second Amendment, so that the government doesn't maintain a monopoly on deadly force. Okay, so it's extortion. Well, during Hurricane Helene, those wonderful people of Eastern Tennessee and Western North Carolina were given $750 from their federal government after they lost everything in a literally unprecedented storm that absolutely appears to have been geoengineered so that BlackRock could buy land up very, very cheap in that area. And they gave those people $750. Fine. If that's what the government, if that's the unit of measurement the government is willing to deal in, I'd be happy to reciprocate $750, not a penny more. But now we find out billions, soon to be trillions of our taxpayer dollars has just been sprinkled around the globe in some kind of LGBTQIA agenda so that everybody, we literally $32,000 for trans show tunes in Uganda. You paid for that. I paid for that. Never again. Not doing it again. I'm just not doing it. Period. The end. And so the IRS as well, everybody's saying, shut the IRS down, audit the IRS. Yeah, you should audit the IRS. And while we're at it, let's audit the Pentagon as well. They failed 7 audits in a row. But the IRS should exist just long enough to open the coffers and redistribute that money to American taxpayers, not citizens, American taxpayers. Here's a refund for the 0% interest loan you've made to the federal government that we used for unrighteous shenanigans all the way around the globe. Everybody gets a check back, and then burn that place to the ground too. Period. The end. I'm just over it. Over it. Oh, Trump's doing a great job. We're just getting started. We're just like, think about like you have a body that's riddled with cancer. It's going to be a lot of surgeries and a lot of recovery. Okay. And right now, Trump is the surgeon. That's good. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. Unless Congress backs all these executive orders with bills that then become laws, none of this shit matters in 4 years anyway. And so we're just getting started, boys and girls. That's my point. We're just getting started. And I'm not funding this unrighteous beast system anymore. I'm out. I'm 100% out. I'm not doing it. Yeah. Freedom Meow says 2 days ago, I got my taxes back from 2022. You know what I got in the mail? I got something that said, hey, you failed to file a return in 2019. It's 2025, and I'm damn certain that I didn't fail to file a return in 2019. It was 6 years ago. Kiss my ass. Like, I'm not, and if you fail to comply, your ass goes to prison. Okay? No. Nope. People, our forefathers chucked crates of tea into the Atlantic Ocean for a 3% tax. And the average American, your effective tax rate on the low end is 30-some%. On the moderate end is 50%. In the middle is, or the high end, 70-some%. So, continuing. American Federation of Government Employees President Everett Kelly said, quote, make no mistake about it, assault that the Trump administration initiated last month continues unchallenged. Every member of Congress will soon hear from an angry or confused constituents about why their VA claims have not been processed or why their Social Security retirement benefits have not been delivered, end quote. Yeah, let's make no mistake about that. I'm sure the lack of efficiency at the Veteran Affairs Office has everything to do with Trump. I'm sure the reason Social Security is broken has everything to do with Trump and Doge. They operated perfectly, flawlessly, with maximum efficiency up until this point. And then Doge got in there and broke all of it. Sure. Yep. That's what happened. A similarly widespread impact may be coming if Trump makes good on a campaign pledge to eliminate the Department of Education. Burn it to the ground. But what about all the teachers? We had teachers before 1980. We had educators before 1980. You know what we didn't have? We didn't have a federal death grip on the throats of the state level education all across the country because most states' education departments are funded primarily through the federal Department of Education, which means you have agendas like LGBTQIA plus bullshit. Timmy feels like a kitten and wants to shit in a litter box today. Here you go, kindergartners. Here's a book on how to give blowjobs to your partner, literally, coming from the federal level and being pushed down all the way down into the laps of our children. No, thank you. Get rid of it. We had educators before we had a Department of Education. We had schools before we had a Department of Education. I personally, every class my children are in, go to the teacher at the beginning of the year, introduce myself, and I say, hey, if you need anything, let me know. They go, oh, thank you so much, Mr. Morse. I said, no, stop. Look at me. Look at me in the eyes. I don't want you taking money out of your paycheck in order to be able to buy the things you need for this classroom because you have budgetary restrictions. Whatever you need, you let me know. You will get it. And every school my children have ever set foot in has lots of these first aid kits in them. And we train the educators and the personnel for free so that my kids are well protected, well taken care of. And as a result, everybody else's kids too. So if the teacher needs expo markers, can I get like 4 expo markers? Sure thing. Here's 100. Well, we need more printer paper. Okay. And I'm one man. And if I can do that, everybody else can do it too. And imagine how much better we could do that if they weren't taking 70% of your income. Oh yeah. Now it's a whole new world, baby. We don't need this. We don't need the federal government in every facet of our life. A similarly widespread impact may be coming if Trump makes good on campaign pledge to eliminate the Department of Education. Well, he has stated, quote, "I think I'd work with Congress. I would hope. We'd have to work with the teachers' unions because the teachers' union is the only one that is opposed to it." Yeah, because, listen, I understand the idea of unions back in the day when they were pressing 12-year-olds into service in the coal mines. I get it. I get it. OSHA made sense. When it was like, hey, maybe we don't need 8-year-olds like playing in crude oil. Okay, sure. But the bureaucracy of these organizations has increased tremendously as the justification for them has decreased tremendously over the last 100 years. Not a fan. Not a fan. I was in South Texas on a job down there. Sarita Gulf Wind, putting up wind turbines back before I knew that was a friggin' scam. And we have these types of concrete trucks called mobile mixers or flow trucks, volumetric mixers. We had a bunch of Reimer is the brand, Reimer, Reimer. Comes out of Canada. Phenomenal equipment. These trucks are 10 foot, 4 inches high. And the way these things work is they're basically a mini batch plant on wheels. So the water, the cement powder, and the aggregate, the sand and the stone, are all separate. And on the back of the truck, you have an auger. Underneath is a conveyor belt, and it conveyor belts the separate components into an auger. The auger spins up, mixes it, and you got fresh concrete on demand off the back of these trucks. They're awesome. Okay. Well, in order to fill up the cement hopper on these trucks, you have a a series of big, tall cement silos. Semis come in, they use the PTO on the semi, power takeoff, runs an air compressor, pressurizes a cement tank on the back of the semi truck, and it blows through a 4-inch rubber hose out of the tanker truck, up a pipe on the side of the silo, and dumps it on the top of the silo. You back your truck underneath the silo, and there's I don't know the technical term for it. Ladies, children, cover your ears. We always called it a donkey dick. Okay. It's like a tube that comes down to the bottom of the silo, and you put that in the top of the hopper of the truck, and you open a flapper valve, and cement via gravity dumps out of the silo and into the truck. And when it's full, you close the valve. Now I have more cement. And you guys, most of y'all are thinking cement. Most people call concrete cement. It is not. Cement is a gray powder that started as limestone that was cooked in a kiln and ground up into a gray powder. And cement is what causes the concrete to get hard. And the constituent components of concrete are sand, stone, cement, and water. Okay. So cement is the gray powdery stuff. It's not the finished product. All right. Cool. So you put the cement powder in the truck. Now, the top of this truck is 10 foot, 4 inches high. OSHA is out there and says, anytime you get on top of the truck, you got to have fall protection harness on and a dual leg fall protection lanyard. Okay. I'm 6 foot tall. The D-ring on the back of your harness sits like just below the base of your neck. So let's call it 5 foot off the ground. The lanyard's 6 feet long. So what's 5 foot plus 6 foot? That's 11 foot. Is 11 more than 10 foot 4 inches? Sure is. So I told the safety guy, I said, you realize if I fall off of here, I'm going to hit the ground and go through the ground for 8 inches before the lanyard even pops and arrests my fall. He goes, well, that's what the specification says. You got to have it. I was like, actually, that's not what the specification says. That's just a rule you pulled out of your ass. The specification is 12 foot, not 10 foot. And this is 10 foot 4. So, well, the height of your head when you're working, I said, this is all a bunch of bullshit. Well, here's the deal. $10,000 fine from OSHA for every incident of anybody getting on top of that truck without a fall protection harness on. How did that help the productivity of this job at all? It certainly didn't contribute to safety. Ask you another question. Why is it that if you're climbing a tower up to 500 feet, you have to have a 5-point fall protection harness and dual leg lanyard and positioning lanyard and all this other shit you have to climb with? But if you're climbing a tower 501 feet or taller, you're allowed to free climb it. Don't need any of that. Is the supposition because if you fall from 501 feet, you're dead, but if you fall from 500 feet, you might make it? Because I've seen people fall from 100 feet that didn't make it. Thanks, OSHA. So screw all those people. That's my point. Back to the brief. Dismantling the Department of Education would impact billions of dollars of federal funding like financial aid, grants for disadvantaged students, and civil rights enforcement. The department impacts students K through 12 across the nation, roughly 50 million students, as well as about 13 million post-secondary students. Continuing education stuff. National Education Association President Becky Pringle said, quote, if it becomes a reality, Trump's power grab would steal resources from our most vulnerable students. It's not a power grab. He's not grabbing anything. He'd be shutting down the Department of Education and turning back over those duties and responsibilities to parents and individual schools at the community level, which is where that power should, the locus of power for education should be centered in the first place. Additionally, he's talking about huge benefits for homeschooling. And I think, again, I will say this again, I am not good at homeschooling, but I think homeschooling is very cool. And if my kids didn't go to an awesome school with awesome educators where they pray before sports games and kids are praying with each other in the hallways and the teachers are generally good, and the way that bullies are dealt with is you just punch them in the nose and nobody's upset about it, my kids wouldn't go to public school. But not all public schools are created equally. And the public schools that we have here in Nowhere, Oklahoma, this little town here, are wonderful. And the educators are wonderful. And so, but homeschooling is a beautiful, wonderful thing. I see Katie Lynn in the comments. She's been doing homeschooling longer than my oldest children have been alive. Okay. And if you're good at it, awesome. And I think that's wonderful. And so if Trump makes it easier for you to financially teach your children at home, go for it. The reason that the union for the educators is pissed off is because it's doing away with the Department of Education removes a large portion of their argument for existing in the first place. Because who's the union supposed to negotiate with if there's no bureaucracy for them to go negotiate with? That's the issue. That's why the union's pissed off about it. Quoting Becky Pringle, if it becomes a reality, Trump's power grab would steal resources from our most vulnerable students. Just them, just the most vulnerable students. Everybody else is fine, but we're gonna kick them while they're down. Explode class sizes, cut job training programs, make higher education more expensive and out of the reach for middle-class families, take away special education, middle class. What happened to the middle class during COVID? It shrunk damn near to the point of vanishing. Like, these assholes actually give a shit about the middle class. They don't care at all. This is all virtue signaling and trying to build rapport. I'm one of you. I feel like you. I think like you. You should vote for me. You should empower me. Let me negotiate on your behalf. No. Why does Becky Pringles feel the need to seek access and placement? The answer generally for people that seek access and placement is exploitation. Sorry, Becky. Make higher education more expensive and out of reach for middle-class families. Take away special education services for students with disabilities. That's what we're going to do. Oh, Billy's in a wheelchair. Sorry, Billy, go pound sand. You don't get to come to class today. Sucks to be you. We used to have a ramp here, but we tore it out and put steps in specifically so that you couldn't get into the building. Come on, shut the F up, Becky. And gut student civil rights protections. Americans did not vote for and do not support ending the federal government's commitment to ensuring equal education opportunities for every child. End quote. Actually, you know what? We did vote for that. I did vote for the dismantling of the federal bureaucracy. I voted for that 100%. And everybody who's carrying on about nobody voted for Elon, nobody voted for the Department of Government Efficiency. Did you vote for George Soros? Did you vote for Klaus Schwab? Did you vote for Bill Gates? Oh my gosh, what is this? That is not the baby I expected you to be carrying when you walked in here.
Patches rejected.
Patches rejected it.
Yeah.
She had twins. So you have a bottle baby.
I got a bottle.
While I'm about to be the men's retreat.
Right.
And you have a baby.
Right.
Give me that thing because everybody's going to... The copper goat said squish. Nope, this is a different kind of baby.
So I gotta go run next door and see if I have formula in a bottle.
You're leaving me with this thing right now. Shut up, I'm trying to talk to the people. Babe, I was on a furious rant. You can't just come here and be all cute and shit. I'm supposed to be pissed off at the camera right now. Come in here, bring me a sweet little baby lamb. You just murdered the mood, honey.
Sorry.
Well, it needs a name.
Well,
Becky.
Let me see if it's going to take a bottle first before we go getting all attached.
Is it a girl?
I don't know.
It's a girl. Becky. All right, Becky, you and me. We're doing the show.
But yeah, she keeps saying that Patches keeps headbutting her, so.
That's not your mom. Shut up. Oh my gosh. Tell me you live on the homestead without telling me you live on a homestead. This, boys and girls, is why... You know, oh no, the world ended. Okay. All right. You want to look? That's you. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Gosh, why are all babies wiggly? All right. As a brief update to the especially volatile situation, Mexico and Canada's tariffs have been paused for 30 days. At least for now. China, on the other hand, has retaliated with 15% tariff. Why am I holding fucking sheep right now? China, on the other hand, has retaliated with 15% tariffs on U.S. coal and liquefied natural gas, as well as 10% tariffs on crude oil, shut up, agricultural machinery, and large displacement cars and pickup trucks. Karen is a good name. Karen is a good name. Oh man. Hey man, it's real life around here. Real quick, speaking of real life, I have 200 of these that are shipping by the end of this month. This is the travel kit. A bunch of y'all have been saying, when is the travel kit going to be back in stock? When can I get another one? When can I blah, blah, blah? You help me out here? This mounts to the headrest in your vehicle or your bike handlebars or your whatever, okay? I have 200 of them. 80 of them are already spoken for. 40% of them are already, like, they already got a home. If you've been waiting for one of these, now's the time, okay? Store closes at sundown tonight. It's Friday. Day of prep. If you want one of these, the adventure kit, run, don't walk to refugemedical.com. Okay? I will reiterate. I have 200 of these that will be shipping by the end of the month. They'll be coming out of the sew shop, going into cardboard boxes that have your name and your address on them, and it will show up at your doorstep. 80 of them are already spoken for. Okay? That leaves 120. 40% is already sold. And I haven't said a word to the internet about it yet. And 40% are already sold. So If you want one of these, the one, the only travel fac from refugemedical.com, go there now and get one, please and thank you. Of course, made in America, of course, guaranteed forever. And all the specs are on the website, refugemedical.com. What town is the store in? I'm in Broken Arrow. Our store is located in Spiro, Oklahoma, which is not near Broken Arrow, but you're welcome to make a day trip. And Liberty says all Bear Fact colors are in stock. All Bear Fact colors are in stock.
I don't have any formula, or I do, but the mice chew a hole in it. So I gotta go. So
okay,
I gotta have Bub hold the baby after he feeds.
Why don't you have Bub hang out with that baby for right now?
Okay.
I'll hang out with this baby for right now.
Okay.
While you're at the feed store, pick up on and put down a bunch of 50-pound sacks real quick while you're there, so you can get your workout in this morning.
I think this will suffice.
Okay, you can check the box on this one. Okay, cool.
Okay, I love you.
I love you too. Be safe.
I will.
Hey, bring your purse.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Because your money and your gun are in your purse.
Yeah.
So okay. I love you. Tuna, even for crayon eaters. Liberty, is Marpat back in stock for the Bear Fact? Also, adventure kits are back. This one is green, Ranger green. I think it might be OD green. I can't tell the difference with my eyeballs because I'm colorblind, for those that didn't know. But these guys are back. The adventure kit is back. This is an awesome kit for human beings, for dogs, for livestock. I've used it on all of those. Price, refugemedical.com. Refugemedical.com. Unapologetically made in the United States of America. Unapologetically buy once, cry once. Guaranteed forever. Okay. So if you've been wanting an adventure kit, go check it out. Get them while you can. They are there. We have entered a season months and months and months ago where due to supply chain coupled with demand, products are coming in and out of stock. And when they hit in stock, the people who have been waiting for those products to come in stock are gobbling them up. So when there's headroom in the inventory, I get on here and I tell you all, hey, Bear Facts are back in stock. Bare minimums are in stock. Travel Facts. Some of y'all been waiting 3 months for Travel Fact to come back in stock. They're back. Travel Facts are back in stock. Adventure kits are in stock. Bleeding prevention kits are in stock. Get them while you can get them. All right. refugemedical.com. If you have any questions, you can use the chat function on the website. There are real people on the other side of that. It's really funny to me when some of y'all get on there and you type into the chat a prompt like you think AI is going to respond to you. We're people, bro. I will literally message people back on the chat app and just be like, beep, boop, beep, robot noises. Anyway, how can I help you, Tim? What do you need? All right, so it's real people. We don't use AI on the other side of the chat. You can call the store Monday through Thursday. We do 410s each week, Monday through Thursday. You can call the store or you can email us, admin@refugemedical. We'll help you however we can. Speaking of AI, a couple of quick notes before we get to the national intel. There are conflicting reports that the North Korean forces, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea forces that were sent to Russia to fight on the front lines in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, conflicting reports that they're either sending more or they're completely pulling out. So that's something to keep an eye on. But several of the different reports have noted that the DPRK, the North Korean soldiers are experiencing 50% casualty rates. That's high. 50% injured or killed in this conflict. It's a big deal. The concept here is that Rocket Man is learning the forces that are surviving are bringing back that battlefield experience back to North Korea so that they can better train the people that they have left in North Korea. There's also a lot of reports about like the guys that were sent to the front lines for North Korea were told they were going to a training exercise. They didn't know that they were going to war. So that's interesting. But then also apparently the missiles that Rocket Man has been providing to Russia once they first got there had an accuracy of plus or minus 1 mile. And over the last few months, they've been able to get better and better with their rocket technology to now that they have an accuracy of plus or minus 150 feet. So that's a significant improvement in the accuracy of those missile platforms that North Korea is now onboarding as well. So that's fun. That's great. And then Bill Gates wants to replace us with AI. There's an article here. I'm trying to do this left-handed because there's a baby sheep in my right hand. Let's see. Bill Gates on AI and innovation. This comes from Harvard Magazine. And there's a lot of blah, blah. It's essentially, they ended up having a Q&A at this live appearance that Gates did at Harvard. And the conversation naturally turned to the next frontier of technology. During the question period, students seemingly asked a variant of the same question. Okay, but what about AI? Gates framed the current shift as a continuation rather than a departure from past evolutions in computing technology. Quote, what we're doing now in artificial intelligence is kind of an extension of the digital revolution because it's built on the chips and the internet, and all those things are about free intelligence. While early computing was constrained by hardware limitations and a lack of software sophistication, AI today is primarily limited by training and data interpretability. Training. That's there's a big push right now to use AI in healthcare, which is why they're asking people to opt in for training to train the AI models on how to deal with a person like them to build the database. And you also have 23andMe and Ancestry that got bought up. And so all that DNA data is now owned, which is gay. Don't like the implications of that, and being fed into the system, which is one of the things that Gates talks about. Let's see. These are barriers that, like those in the past, Gates believes will soon be overcome. Yet AI also diverges sharply from the personal computing revolution. Unlike PCs, which merely amplified human capabilities, AI has the potential to replace them. Gates pointed out the existential shift. Quote, intelligence will be completely free. What does that mean? Computing was once about making existing tasks more efficient, he explained, but AI could fundamentally redefine what tasks humans delegate to people or to machines. I skew in the direction of, can we please not teach the machines to be any smarter than they already are? Can we not give them any more purview than they already have? See, mini rabbit hole here. These elites operate from the supposition that people are a virus on planet Earth. Fewer people, fewer problems. Which is why you see certain medical campaigns to decrease the population of the planet. Georgia Guidestones, no more than 500 million people on planet Earth. Hey, you shut the hell up, okay? All right, we're trying to do a show here. I got to talk to these people. If I don't talk to these people, they're not going to feel very satisfied. Shh, they're not going to feel like they got their money's worth. Stop it. So, and then SOE Inspector 8, precisely. Possible water shortages due to the need of AI facilities. Yeah, they need the water for cooling. They also need the water for power production because a lot of these plants or a lot of these AI facilities are building their own small nuclear plants to produce enough power to run the AI facility, quantum computers and all of that. Well, nuclear works by making things hot. It makes water hot. The hot water turns into steam. The steam goes through pipes that spin turbines, fans, The output shaft of that fan is connected to a generator, which is copper and magnets spinning inside, stator and rotor spinning inside of there. That excites the electrons in the copper, which flow down the wires into the devices where the electricity is being consumed. Okay. And yes, it's more technical than that, but that's it in a nutshell. Okay. So you need water for that, for cooling and for steam production, as well as for the cooling of the equipment in the AI revolution. So there's constraints around AI, like water and energy. And what do people consume? Water, energy. So I don't trust Bill Gates. I've never trusted Bill Gates. I don't like the guy personally. And he's now saying, he's telling Harvard, which he dropped out of in 1975 to start Microsoft. He's now telling the people at Harvard, hey, here in the relatively near future, we will have to decide what work to give to machines and what work to give to people. How about no? How about no? I mean, we've got these what are they, MQ-9 Reaper drones, right? We have those. Can like the anti-deep state, I'm just throwing this out there, the anti-deep state, like break into the Connex box where the drone operator's sitting and be like, hey, I got a new target packet for you. And it's just all these AI sites. Just drop some Hellfires on them, call it good. Is that even remotely on the table? Because I'm kind of in support of that. I'd be good with that. For instance, Gates notes one of the sins of computing is its ability to reinforce false narratives. AI, he acknowledged, could either exacerbate or mitigate this problem depending on how it is deployed. New technology influences relationships and the spread of knowledge, allowing misinformation and extreme ideologies to flourish, he said. Artificial intelligence, Gates argued, could fundamentally change classroom dynamics. Imagine an AI tutor that not only understands pedagogy, which is the art of teaching, by the way. He suggests pedagogy, not okay, yeah, it's similar, not the same word. The art of teaching, he suggested, but also motivation. These systems wouldn't just deliver lessons, they would measure student engagement, identify struggles, and adjust in real time so that no one gets left behind. I'm going to go with no. Anyway, you can go to harvardmagazine.com and find the full article on Gates and his opinions on AI and how it should be deployed. My viewpoint on this is no, it shouldn't be deployed. Let's just not do that. I'm not interested. Now, on to the bonus intel sent into intel@bearindependent.com. There was only 2 pieces this week. So I guess you guys don't love me as much as you used to. I'm really sad about it. Are we breaking up? Are we breaking up? If we're breaking up, just tell me. Why would you do this to me? Anyway, intel@bearindependent.com. I specifically want to know what you're seeing and hearing with your own ears, your own eyes. And I'm sure a lot of you think, it's not that interesting. I don't want to send it to Bear. I'd rather have a bunch of stuff to sift through to find the nuggets than have nothing. So I would greatly appreciate your interaction here. Send what you got to intel@bearindependent.com. Okay? Okay, Bear. First, I'm a member at a shooting range outside of the San Antonio, Texas area, and in recent weeks, before and after the inauguration, DHS have been making frequent reservations of the shooting base for ICE firearms qualifications. Used to be once a week, but is now several times per week. They had initially started with sidearms and grappling, but have now moved on to rifles. Most of these agents look like the only security they can pull is at Walmart. In one instance, I had an encounter with an SRT team testing door breaches. These gentlemen looked up to the task. It seems that they know what's coming and are playing catch up. Sup?
I love you.
I love you too. Don't leave me.
I have to.
You don't have to. You are choosing to.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, come here. Give me a hug.
I like your baby.
Yeah, me too. I love this baby.
Bye.
Bye. I'll see you when I see you, okay?
Yeah, what day are you coming back?
Shit, I don't know. I'll let you know.
Okay. Bye, baby.
I love you.
Bye.
Be safe.
Have
a good day.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I'll sneeze on you.
You better not. If you sneeze on me, I'll throw a sheep at you.
No. Bye.
Bye. SRT team. They look like they knew what they were doing. It seems that they know what's coming and are playing catch up. I'm keeping my eyes and ears open. I feel this area of Texas may go hot in the future, but there are many young men who are sensing this as well and are increasing their training. And last, in Lane County, Oregon, anyone on Oregon Health Plan can ask a pharmacist for Narcan and get it for free. I'm wondering if you include doses of Narcan in your first aid packs. With all the fentanyl and other drug overdoses these days, I thought it might be a good idea. Many people can't afford the $45 price for 2 doses, but if they knew that it was free, might carry it and save lives. I think they should make it as close to free as possible. I know physicians that give it to their teenagers. Okay, so if you're in Lane County, Oregon, and on Oregon Health Plan, you can get Narcan for free. Narcan is a drug. Don't just stick the Narcan up people's noses for no reason, which means you got to understand indications, contraindications. When should you use the damn thing? Okay. Oh, honey, that's a great idea. Lamppost said she wanted to cuddle baby sheep. Lamppost, you want one? You just want a sheep? I'll hook it up. Price is right. Price is right, homie. So that's the first thing. You can get it for free, but it's just like if I gave you a free pistol, you still need to know when to use it, when not to use it, how to use it. Okay. And it's not a miracle drug. In fact, one could argue there's the overuse of Narcan at this point. It doesn't fix everything. It doesn't cure anything, and it can make things worse depending on the situation. Next, do we, Refuge Medical, carry Narcan? No. We have tried and tried and tried and tried and tried to get Narcan, and we cannot get it from the manufacturer. They're pretty damn busy providing it to everybody else. So we can't get Narcan to provide to you. We have made for years this kit right here. This is the belt kit. It was originally designed for law enforcement, and this bottom pouch right here is specifically designed to hold a dose of Narcan. And so you can mount this on your belt horizontally or vertically, however you want to do it. It's about the size of, well, I'll tell you, the internal, it's smaller than an AR-15 magazine. Okay, so this is about the size of one AR-15 magazine. And again, horizontal, vertical, mounted on your belt, mounted on your kit, however you want. And then in the top pouch here, there's a cat tourniquet and a set of chest seals right there in the top. And there's a pull tab right there that you can see. Why is it important to be able to access your stuff with one hand? Well, you might be holding a baby sheep and you got to demo your stuff on camera. You can pull the pull tab and it gets that stuff up out of that pocket for you so you can grab onto that thing and use it to work with. And then in the bottom pocket down here, you can fit Narcan, or you can fit a pair of gloves, an S-mark bandage, and a block of wound packing gauze for dealing with wounds that need to be packed in junctional areas. And so it's a great little kit. It's, of course, made in America. It's, of course, guaranteed forever. And you can, of course, find it at refugemedical.com. Bear, you're always shilling on the internet. Listen, guys, I'm really damn proud of this company. Okay? We've come a long way in a short period of time. There's 140 people who are still alive because we showed up to work. There's more than 5,000 people who have been trained. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of aid rendered stories and after action reports. There are dozens of products that have been developed working with agencies and departments and units and y'all. We've come a long way with Refuge Medical in a short period of time. And again, unapologetically made in America, unapologetically buy once, cry once. You can't get this on Temu or Shine, and you shouldn't. You should buy real life-saving equipment from real Americans. And that is the belt kit. And it's very freaking compact, man. So refugemedical.com. Promo code is Bear Nation for free shipping, by the way. And, Valentine's Day is coming up. You going to get her chocolates? Or you going to get her a red Bear minimum? You thought about that? Yeah. Yeah, you could draw a heart on it. Be like, babe, I love you. Don't die. If you freak out, sheep, there's going to be a murder on camera. Look, see, she's concerned. See how her ears are back right now? That means she's concerned. So you need to simmer down. You're too small to eat. It's not even worth butchering you. There's like 2 quarter-pounders on you right now. So I need this sheep. Lamppost, I'll make you a deal. Like, I will all the way make you a deal. But clock's ticking. Bear, you would never. No, I wouldn't. But that is the knife that I use for processing sheep. So one of the knives I use for processing sheep. That's the show for today. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for coming along with me with the YouTube shenanigans this morning. Do me a favor, check out bearindependent.com. There's an email blast that you should sign up for. There's jam-packed written prepper value that goes out each week on that email blast. The Refuge Ruckus is coming up in literally 1 month. Fort Smith, Arkansas, refugeruckus.com. That is our annual fundraising event for our counter-trafficking ministry, Caleb House. I have excellent speakers. We've got Dr. Trevor Wilkins, Amy from Torah Sisters, Luca Baffy from The Way and the Life podcast. Master of Ceremonies is Chad Prather. You may have heard of Chad Prather, the comedian, musician, political commentator, Chad Prather. He's the MC. He'll be there. There's Bug Out Bob will be speaking. I will be there, and I will be speaking. Let's see. Who else is going to be there? Brandon Davis, the country artist Brandon Davis, will be there performing on Sunday after the Ruck. There is a Team Creamy versus Team Crunchy tug of war. I am the captain of Team Crunchy, and we will prevail. Simple as that. So if you want to be on the winning team, Team Crunchy. Let's see who else is going to be there. All kinds of people going to be there. Trying to remember off the top of my head, and remembering is not something that I'm great at. Oh, Nick Ferguson is going to be there. If you've ever done permaculture stuff, Nick Ferguson will be there speaking. Constance with Cosmopolitan Cornbread will be there. Jason Charles, the Angry Prepper, will be there speaking. It's going to be an awesome event. We're going to have a huge Bible study on Saturday, live music, worship music. So speakers, presenters, vendors. If you want to be a vendor or you want to sponsor, reach out, please, immediately. That happens on Friday. Saturday's Bible study, hangout, fellowship, baptisms, the whole nine. Sunday morning, tug of war, ruck, concert. It's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be an absolute blast. AVT. If I didn't say AVT, Dr. Trevor Wilkins, AVT, will be there as well. Which I really want to thank him for that, because his services will be needed, and he has agreed to provide his services free of charge to Team Creamy after the tug of war. So we don't want this to be a traumatic experience for you, but if it is, AVT will be right there on site. He'll be willing to speak with you and tell you to resolve to do better. I'll be handing out free man-sized jars of extra crunchy peanut butter. This is the way. Okay, this is the way. So refugeruckus.com, that's coming. Grindstone Ministries, we have our men's retreat this weekend. It's going to be amazing. Listen, Grindstone does amazing things. After hurricanes, tornadoes, fires, and floods, Grindstone mobilizes all across the country to go help people who lost everything. 100% privately funded, 100% volunteer workforce. It's a beautiful thing. And not only do we do that, we do men's retreats, we do women's retreats, we do trainings, we do volunteer or leadership summits, we do all kinds of things. But you need to be part of the Grindstone ecosystem to have access to those things. And so if that's something that interests you, go to grindstoneministries.com, sign up, reach out, get involved. If you need a Bible, grindstoneministries.com. You can buy one at our cost, no profit. Or if you can't afford one, we will send you one for free, grindstoneministries.com. And then, of course, Caleb House, which is our counter-trafficking ministry. I am so freaking proud of the men and women of Caleb House and the work that they are doing. They are amazing human beings that are having a real impact, predominantly on the restoration side. And that's what people miss. Everybody's like, we got to rescue these kids that are being trafficked. 100% I agree. Well, where do they go after they're rescued? Should we make them property of the state? Hell no. Half the time, that's part of the problem. So there has to be a place to go to break generational curses, to reset patterns of behavior, to restore these kids. And that's what Caleb House is. And we're privately funded by y'all. We're a legit 501c3, not for profit. Our 990s are up on the website. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us and ask. And our fundraising goal this year is $4 million. And that gets the facility built, staffed, and operational. Like, that's OpEx. It will pay the people who need to be there to make this thing happen, not just build it. So keep that in prayer. If you know anybody who's looking for a tax break, even though the IRS is gay or non-for-profit, and do not plug into any of our ministries without first praying about it, and only do what the Spirit has convicted you to do. Simple as that. If your heart ain't in it, if the Spirit isn't telling you to do it, then with respect, don't. I don't want to be working counter to the Spirit. You shouldn't be working counter to the Spirit. So that's the brief for today. I appreciate y'all very much. Links to all the things are down in the description. Thank you to the patrons, the economic engine of the Bear Nation. I think Lamppost got a new friend, Karen, here. And I will see y'all when I see y'all. I don't know when I'm going to be back in front of this camera, but we'll figure that out. Have a freaking stellar day. Go out into the world, be the light, and may the Father's face shine upon you. Shalom.